welcome back. Today we'll be reading the first story of a book called Short Stories in French by Olly Richards and Richard Simcott. And I'll be reading these stories as a qualified teacher, as a personal French coach, as a curriculum designer, and as a native speaker of French and English. So I'll be approaching this story to see the value of the learning content. I've only read 6 lines of the story so far, so I don't know how it ends or even what it's about. I've heard of the authors, I'm familiar with the names. I do know that in certain circles they're the Rolls Royce of language teachers. I'm more of a Ford Fiesta myself. I do know that both guys are English, Olly Richards and Richard Simcott. I do know that they describe themselves as polyglots and both have established themselves as teachers of languages. So, let's read the story. Right, so I have the story loaded on my computer here, and now I'm going to get into the character, and teacher Chris is going to appear. Okay, la ratatouille folle ratatouille or la ratatouille folle? So I know that a ratatouille is a dish of some kind. I've never said the word ratatouille before. I know what a ratatouille is just about. It's a type of food, une ratatouille. But would I say la ratatouille folle or la folle ratatouille? Because in English, it's easy to call a thing crazy. It doesn't have to be a person, a crazy computer, a crazy anything, a crazy house, a crazy garden, a crazy dog. But in French, it's a different business, isn't it? So can a ratatouille be folle is what I'm asking. Does it seem natural to me to call a ratatouille folle? It works very well in English. I'm not so sure it works in French. And if you were to make it work, would you rather say une folle ratatouille? I'd rather go with la folle ratatouille because it makes it more playful. It just sounds more playful, to my ear at least. One thing I don't understand is why they've capitalised the R on ratatouille, and also I feel that they're including an unnecessary difficulty and an unnecessary obstacle because the sound ouille is notoriously hard to do for English speakers, like the word grenouille or ratatouille, or no, not the one starting with C. Nouille, like a noodle. They'll say ratatouille, they'll say grenouille. It is an obstacle. I see this as a teacher. It is an unnecessary obstacle. I don't think I have the sound ouille in my course at all, because I know it's just, well, first of all, it's quite rare. You won't encounter this sound very often in French comparatively. Statistically, you won't encounter the sound ouille very often. And I just think it's an unnecessary obstacle. So la ratatouille folle, capitalised. I would rather have called it la folle ratatouille. So chapitre 1, la préparation. Right, what are they going to prepare? They're going to prepare a ratatouille. So let's see, let's start reading this. It starts with a little dialogue here. Daniel, viens, me dit Julie de la porte de la maison. Qu'est-ce que tu veux, Julie? Je lui réponds. Who's doing what here? Wait. Daniel vient, Daniel come. Says Julie to me, me dit Julie de la porte de la maison. So Julie's standing in the door frame and says, Daniel, come. Daniel, viens, me dit Julie. So she tells me, so he's speaking in the present tense. So, okay, so he's one of the two characters. Daniel vient, me dit Julie de la porte de la maison. She's standing in the door frame then. Qu'est-ce que tu veux, Julie? What do you want, Julie? I answer her. Qu'est-ce que tu veux, Julie? Right, why not? Aujourd'hui, on part en voyage en France, tu te rappelles? On part en voyage en France. Non, on voyage en France. Oh, wow. You see, I automatically corrected the mistake here. On voyage en France, tu te rappelles? Bien sûr. Je prépare ma valise. Où sont mes bas? Dis-je. Wait. Okay, I see. So, today we're travelling to France, do you remember? Well, no, it slipped my mind. Oh, really? Are we going to France today? Sorry, no, just completely absent-minded. I'd forgotten about this. So, come on, there's a bit of an absurdist quality to this dialogue so far. Daniel, come. It's not a very natural way of speaking to people, is it? Daniel, come. Daniel, viens. Viens, me dit Julie de la porte de la maison. Why would she tell him to come if they can hear each other speak anyway? Daniel vient, me dit Julie de la porte de la maison. Qu'est-ce que tu veux, Julie? Je lui réponds. Aujourd'hui, on part en voyage. No, on voyage. Now, this is a mistake here, because if you say on voyage en France, it means we are travelling within France. So either you're going to France, or you're already in France and you're travelling within France. So if you say on voyage en France, which of course works in English, this is a direct translation from English. On voyage en France, we're travelling within France. But if you're going to France, you would say on va en France. Simply, on va en France. Tu te rappelles? Well, yeah, obviously, I mean, they're preparing a trip to France. You wouldn't have forgotten. Bien sûr, of course I remember. Je prépare ma valise. Julie is telling Daniel she's preparing her suitcase. Where are my stockings? Because ba is a very, very old-fashioned word. Où sont mes... I haven't heard the word ba. I'm not taking the piss. I haven't heard the word ba since the 1980s. Où sont mes bas? I'm not even sure that it's a word that's still used in everyday French. Où sont mes bas? Dit Julie. Where are my stockings? So she's packing a suitcase and she wants to know on the day of the departure where her stockings are. Okay, great. Où sont mes bas? Dit Julie. And they probably should have said demande Julie, me demande Julie, or... Anyway, so then the dialogue seems to end, and it goes on to say, Je m'appelle Daniel. Yeah, that's one of the two characters. Je m'appelle Daniel, j'ai 24 ans, Julie est ma sœur. Nous vivons dans la même maison à Londres. Julie a 23 ans, nos parents s'appellent Arthur et Claire. Nous préparons notre voyage en France. Yeah, so they are preparing a trip to France, où nous serons étudiants en échange international. Nous apprenons le français, nous avons déjà beaucoup à... Wait. Je m'appelle Daniel, my name is Daniel, why not? J'ai 24 ans, why not? Julie est ma sœur, it sounds a bit stilted to me. Julie is my sister, it sounds a bit robotic. They should probably have said something like, I was talking to Julie, my sister, but presumably they don't want to use the past tense early on in the story. It would sound more natural to say, the girl I was talking to was my sister, something like that. Je parlais à Julie, ma sœur, or something. Nous vivons dans la même maison à Londres. We're living in the same house in London. It's oddly specific. Why not we live together in London? Nous vivons ensemble à Londres. Julie a 23 ans. It's also the way they separate the information, because 24 years old, she's my sister, we live together, and then she's 23. Why doesn't he give the ages together? Or why don't both authors give the ages together? Nos parents s'appellent Arthur et Claire. But then it's all about, the information packaging is a bit odd, because what you'd say is, we live with our parents in the same house. Their name is Arthur and Claire. They just completely break up the information in a way that's not natural at all. Nous préparons notre voyage en France, où nous serons étudiants en échange international. Nous apprenons le français et nous avons déjà beaucoup appris. We are learning French and we have already learnt a lot. That is not a natural sentence at all. We are learning French currently and we have already learnt a lot. Now, so far, I can't say that I see the learning benefit of this story. I wouldn't be able to say where we're going with this. I wouldn't be able to say what's the learner objectively learning. But maybe the answer will come later. Je suis grand. Wow, that's odd. Je suis grand. Out of nowhere. I am tall. Je suis grand. Would you say that in French? Je suis grand. Je suis grand. I'm tall. You wouldn't, would you? Je suis grand. It would land really strangely if you said that in French. Je suis grand. Je mesure 1m87. J'ai les cheveux châtains et un peu longs. I have brown hair and my hair's a bit long. Why not? J'ai les yeux verts et une grande bouche. I have green eyes and a big mouth. Mick Jagger. But what are they doing here? What are they doing? Are they introducing the learner to the parts of the body, or what's the purpose of it? This is what I don't understand. I have green eyes and a big mouth. I do a lot of sport. But I thought this story was about going to France, about packing suitcases, or about a ratatouille. I don't see where we're going with this. It's utterly confusing to me. Je fais beaucoup de sport. I do a lot of sport. I've got good legs. J'ai de bonnes jambes parce que je cours tous les matins. I have good legs because I run every morning. Right. Ma sœur, comma, Julie, comma. I thought you were going to say also has hair. A aussi les cheveux châtains, also has brown hair. Why not? Mais ses cheveux sont plus longs que les miens. Elle n'a pas les yeux verts, elle a les yeux marrons comme mon père. Mes yeux sont de la même couleur que ceux de ma mère. They're introducing early on very complex pronouns. Les miens, les tiens, ceux de ma mère, those of my mum. This is by no means a pronoun that you would use as a beginner. It's just the way they package the information, the flow of the text. It's not natural. My sister Julie also has brown hair, but her hair is longer than my hair. She doesn't have green eyes. She has brown eyes, like my father. My eyes are the same colour as the eyes of my mum. Is this a natural thing to say? I don't know. Mon père Arthur est poète, so my father's a poet. Okay. Mon père Arthur est poète. Il est auteur de plusieurs livres. Il a écrit 12 livres sur le mariage, la douleur, le courage et la beauté. Il exprime beaucoup d'émotions dans ces 12 livres. Ma mère est professeure de sciences naturelles. Elle étudie le corps humain, en particulier le ventre. Ces études concernent la présence de matière dans le corps. Sorry guys, this makes no sense. Je suis très fier de mes parents, ça fait 40 ans qu'ils sont mariés cette année. Mes parents savent parler français. Ils nous parlent en français pour qu'on pratique. Right, there's a lot to unpack here. My father, Arthur, is a poet. Okay, why not? Mon père Arthur est poète. Il est auteur de plusieurs livres. He's the author of several books. He's written 12 books on marriage, pain, courage and beauty. La douleur, le courage et la beauté. Il exprime beaucoup d'émotions dans ces 12 livres. Can we express an emotion in French? J'exprime une émotion. Not really. It's a thing you do in English. He expresses a lot of emotion in his books. It's not something that's very natural in French. Il exprime beaucoup d'émotions. No. Il exprime beaucoup d'émotions dans ces 12 livres. And they've put an S on émotion, so a lot of separate emotions. Il exprime beaucoup d'émotions. No, you wouldn't. No, this would qualify as a mistake. Il exprime beaucoup d'émotions dans ces 12 livres. I'm not sure of the spelling, but it's just in French it doesn't work. You can't express different emotions across 12 books. It doesn't work. It doesn't mean a thing in French. Il exprime beaucoup d'émotions dans ces 12 livres. It doesn't mean anything. Sorry. It doesn't work. Ma mère est professeure de sciences naturelles, right? My mum's a teacher of natural science. Elle étudie le corps humain. She studies the human body. But she doesn't though. She teaches it. Elle étudie le corps humain. She studies the human body. In particular, the stomach. So she's... And le ventre... Well, the area here, so the stomach... Do they mean digestion or do they specifically mean the stomach, le ventre? When you say le ventre, usually in French, it means the outside area. So she studies this outside area, le ventre. Doesn't usually refer to the organ. Otherwise you'd say l'estomac. So she studies the outside area of le ventre, the stomach. Why not? Ses études concernent la présence. So what is she doing? Is she either studying or teaching? So ses études concernent. Can a study concern? No. A study can't concern something. Ses études concernent la présence de... No, that's a mistake in French. It's not a natural collocation. You wouldn't say this. Ses études concernent la présence de matière dans le corps humain. It doesn't mean anything. Not only is it a collocation that doesn't work, but the sentence is borderline nonsensical. Her studies concern the presence of matter in the human body. I thought it was about the stomach, or the area, the outside area, le ventre. So, ces études concernent la présence de matière. What matter? La matière. La matière? La présence de matière. Usually, you'd put an S on matière, de matière, and then you define what matière you're talking about. La présence de matière. No, that makes no sense. It doesn't work in French. Sorry, it doesn't work. Je suis très fier de mes parents. Why not? I'm very proud of my parents. Ça fait 40 ans qu'ils sont mariés cette année. Would that work in French? Cette année, ça fera 40 ans qu'ils sont mariés. You'd rather put it in the... Yeah, you'd rather put it in the future. Cette année, ça fera 40 ans qu'ils sont mariés. Ça fait 40 ans. It's forgivable. It's not a mistake, it's forgivable. Ça fait 40 ans qu'ils sont mariés cette année. Ça fera 40 ans qu'ils sont mariés. Cette année, ils sont mariés depuis 40 ans. I'm not sure I'd use the present tense for this. Mes parents savent parler français. You wouldn't say that because, well, it depends what it means. What they're saying here, can speak French. My parents can speak French. And in English, you use modals even when it's not necessary. If you say, I can see the bird, it means you see the bird. You know, I can hear you. You're not saying I have the ability of hearing you. So very often we use modal verbs like can when it's not necessary, really. You know, can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. But you're not testing, do you have the ability to hear me? What you really mean is, do you hear me? And here they're saying, mes parents savent parler français, my parents can speak French, which is a direct translation from English. Usually you'd say, my parents speak French, mes parents parlent français. You wouldn't say savent parler français, because it implies that it's an ability that they have that they don't often use. They have the ability to speak French, they just never use it. Mes parents savent parler français. Okay, ils nous parlent en français pour qu'on pratique. They speak to us in French so that we practice, pour qu'on pratique. They're missing a pronoun here. Ils nous parlent en français pour qu'on le pratique. Pour qu'on le pratique. Pour qu'on pratique. It's a bit informal to say pour qu'on pratique. Pour qu'on le pratique. They're missing a pronoun here. Mon père entre dans sa What? That's a rough transition. My father enters into my room. Mon père entre dans ma chambre. It's very sudden. It's a very abrupt transition. They were talking about something completely different a second ago. And I will remind you that this is a story for beginners. It's utterly confusing. It's confusing to me, and I've been doing this for decades. Mon père entre dans ma chambre. Why not in the present tense? Okay, why not? It's an odd choice of tense. I understand that they're trying to use the present tense as much as they can, but they have used the past tense, passé composé, once or twice already in the story, so they're not completely avoiding it, but I'm sensing that they are definitely giving the priority to using the present tense. But then again, it makes it sound weird. It doesn't make it sound natural. So even if if the author's intention is to simplify French, it doesn't mean it's a good idea, because they're giving you French in a way that's not natural. You can't just decide to write the whole story in the present tense because it suits you. That's not the way tenses work. My father enters into my room. Mon père entre dans ma chambre. It's okay. Mon père entre dans ma chambre. Il me regarde. And it's a very bad example because the present tense is, in this context here, it reads like a general rule of life. It's a habit. It's something he does regularly. My father regularly comes into my room. You can't just choose to say, well, I'm going to use the present tense because it's easier for beginners. It's not the way language works. Mon père entre dans ma chambre. Il me regarde. He looks at me. Il voit que je ne suis pas encore habillé. Okay. Does that mean he's naked? My father comes into my room. He looks at me. It's very robotic, isn't it? He steps into my room. He looks at me. He sees that I am not dressed. Il voit que je ne suis pas encore... I've completely lost the flow. It started with Julie standing in the doorway, in the door frame, saying, have you seen my stockings? And now it's all over the place. It's utterly confusing. Il voit que je ne suis pas encore habillé. Daniel. The character was outside. Daniel was outside. He wasn't inside. He wasn't in his room. He was outside. Because his sister told him, come here. Daniel, dépêche-toi. Nous voulons vous amener à l'aéroport. Oh, it's very unnatural. We want to bring you to the airport. Nous voulons, that's very unnatural. We want to bring you to the airport. It's never anything. First of all, you wouldn't speak with nous. You don't usually speak with nous. Only in certain cases. which I can't explain now. On va vous conduire à l'aéroport, on voudrait vous amener à l'aéroport. You'd use a conditional anyway. We want to bring you to the airport. Je suis obligé d'aller au bureau aujourd'hui. I am forced to go to the office today. This is what they just said. Je suis obligé d'aller au bureau aujourd'hui. I am forced to go to the office today. Je n'ai pas beaucoup de temps. It's not natural. You can't just decide to simplify French as it suits you, because you're showing people a very bad example. Je suis obligé d'aller au bureau aujourd'hui. Je n'ai pas beaucoup de temps. Right. Ne t'inquiète pas, papa. Do not worry, father. Je m'habille tout de suite. I'm getting dressed. So he's hanging around in his shorts, even though he's going to France today. Ne t'inquiète pas, papa. Je m'habille tout de suite. Où est ta sœur? Where's your sister? Elle est dans sa chambre. She's in her room. Mon père va dans la chambre de ma sœur pour parler avec elle. Julie le regarde. Oh my God. My father goes to the room of my sister's room to speak with her. Julie looks at him. She looks at him. Perhaps the father's got a third eye or something. Julie looks at him. Julie le regarde. Julie looks at him. You can't make this up. Bonjour, papa. Tu veux quelque chose? She looks at him. Hello, father. Do you want something? I love it. I love it. Hello, father. Do you want something? Yeah, sorry, I own the house. I've come to say something, obviously. Bonjour, papa. Tu veux quelque chose? Do you want something? Well, yeah, you're sort of going to France today. Do you want to get a move on? Bonjour, papa. Tu veux quelque chose? Do you want something? Yes, Julie. Your brother is getting dressed. Okay. Ton frère est en train de s'habiller. Je veux que vous preniez ça. I want that you take this. Why didn't he give it to the son? Yes, Julie. Your brother is getting dressed. I want that you take this. Je veux que vous preniez ça. Mon père lui montre une liasse de billets. Julie est très surprise. So he shows her a wad of cash, une liasse de billets. Julie is very surprised. Julie est très surprise. C'est beaucoup d'argent, dit-elle. It's a lot of money, she says. Ta mère et moi, nous avons beaucoup Your mother and I have saved up quite a lot. Nous avons beaucoup économisé. Nous voulons payer une partie de votre voyage en France. And they're doing it on the day of the departure, are they? Ta mère et moi... Now, you wouldn't say this in French. Ta mère et moi, your mother and me, comma, we have saved up quite a lot. Ta mère et moi, nous avons beaucoup économisé. You wouldn't repeat the subject with nous here. You would just say, ta mère et moi avons beaucoup économisé. There's something, they don't like conjunctions in this text. They always, it's always, why don't they say, your mother and I have saved up quite a lot, and we want to help contribute to a part of your trip. Merci papa, je vais le dire à Daniel. Thank you father, I'm going to tell Daniel about it. Julie se tourne pour sortir de sa chambre. So Julie turns around to exit. The father's just stepped in, so there must be a second door. So she turns around to exit to the second exit. Julie se tourne pour sortir de sa chambre. Oh Daniel, tu es là et tu es habillé. Cet argent est pour nous deux. Oh Daniel, you're there and you're dressed. This money is for both of us. The wad of cash in her hand. You wouldn't say that between brother and sister. Oh, Daniel, you are there, and you are dressed. This money's for both of us. Merci. Oh no, it's the father who's speaking. You see, it wasn't clear. Merci, papa. Ça nous sera très utile. Thank you, father. It will be very useful for us, to us. Maintenant, votre mère et moi allons vous emmener en voiture à l'aéroport. Venez. Now, it's very descriptive. Now, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next, son? is that your mum and I are going to drive you to the airport by car. Come, it's almost scary. What's going to happen now, son, is that your mother and I are going to drive you to the airport. Now, your mother and I are going to drive you to the airport. Come. What's going to happen? It's very authoritative, isn't it? It's meant to sound nice, but it's just very authoritative. Quelques minutes plus tard, nous sortons de la maison. A few minutes later, we exit the house. Nous allons à l'aéroport dans la voiture de ma mère. We go to the airport in my mum's car. Julie is very nervous. Julie est très nerveuse. Elle est nerveuse en général. She's just nervous in general. It's a very odd sentence construction. It doesn't read naturally at all. Julie est très nerveuse. Julie, ma chérie. Julie, darling. Lui dit ma mère, ça va? Julie, ma chérie, lui dit ma mère, ça va? Je suis très nerveuse, lui répond-elle. I am very nervous. She answers. Pourquoi? Why? Je ne connais personne en France, je connais seulement David. Non, Daniel, ne t'inquiète pas. Je suis sûre. They're missing the little hat on the U here. Ne t'inquiète pas, je suis sûre qu'à Marseille, il y a des gens très gentils et très sympathiques. Et n'oublie pas l'ami de Daniel, Arnaud. Oh, it's very, very... I want to say it's quite badly written, really. If this was a school for native speakers, I mean, a francophone school, the teacher would be worried. I mean, I would expect this type of writing from a 14, 15-year-old, 16-year-old. I don't know. You can tell this wasn't written by a native speaker. You can tell straight away. I don't know anyone in France. I only know Daniel. Je connais seulement Daniel. Well, obviously, you're going there for a holiday. You don't live in France. Ne t'inquiète pas. Je suis sûr qu'à Marseille, il y a des gens très gentils et très sympathiques. And the way it reads is, I'm sure that in Marseille there are some people who are nice and likable. Je suis sûr qu'il y a des gens. I'm sure there are some people who are nice and likable. And don't forget, Daniel's friend Arnaud, yes, the way it's written here is very clumsy. Et n'oublie pas l'ami de Daniel comme Arnaud, which you wouldn't say in native French. It just reads very clumsily. Oui, maman, je sais, mais je suis nerveuse. Yes, mum, I know, but I'm still nervous. The way they use commas also, I don't find it very... Oui, comma, maman, comma, je sais, comma, mais je suis nerveuse. That's 3 commas in a sentence. It's not very natural. Il y a une queue très longue à l'aéroport. You wouldn't really say une queue, you would say une file. For obvious reasons, the word queue is not really used anymore in French. Il y a une file très longue à l'aéroport. Il y a une queue très longue à l'aéroport. Beaucoup de personnes. A lot of individuals travel for work. Beaucoup de personnes. That's clearly a mistake. Sorry, guys, but you don't say beaucoup de personnes. A lot of people, a lot of individuals. You wouldn't say that in French. That's a mistake. Beaucoup de personnes voyagent pour le travail. Certains partent en vacances. Well, obviously, that covers all cases, doesn't it? It's either work or leisure. I mean, je me rapproche de Julie et je lui dis, I get closer to Julie and I tell her, ça va mieux? Do you feel better? Well, there's no reason for her to feel better. Ça va mieux? Oui, Daniel, j'étais très nerveuse dans la voiture. Yes, Daniel, I was very nervous in the car. Oui, c'est vrai, mais tout ira bien. Are they using the future tense here? Yes, that's true, but everything will be well. Mon ami, Arnaud, à Marseille, est très gentil. I mean, come on, guys. My friend, Arnaud, à Marseille, is very kind. That's not proper French. Il aide les étudiants en échange international comme nous. He helps people, exchange students, such as us. Why not? Nos parents nous serrent dans leurs bras. It's not someone else's arms, it's their own arms, is it? So they hug us in their own arms. You wouldn't say that. You would say nous serrent dans les bras, in the arms. You wouldn't say in their own arms. They hug us in their own arms. So mes parents nous serrent dans leurs bras. Nous leur disons au revoir, Julie et moi. Nous passons au contrôle de sûreté. Oh, sûreté! Wow, there's an old-fashioned word for you. Sûreté, la sûreté. Wow, I haven't seen that word since the 80s. Julie et moi, nous passons au contrôle de sûreté. That's not even a thing. It's not a thing. It's not a thing that exists, le contrôle de sûreté. Dear me. Wow, I'm saying 1950s and I'm being kind. More like 1940s. Julie et moi, nous passons... Julie, they love commas in this story. I could do a study of all the use of the mistaken uses of commas in this story. Julie et moi, comma, nous passons au contrôle de sûreté. La sûreté nationale. Yeah, it reminds me of la sûreté nationale. Daniel, comme Julie. Point d'exclamation, on vous aime. Daniel, Julie, we love you. Daniel, Julie, on vous aime. Now that's a very clumsy sentence. C'est la dernière chose que nous entendons. It's the last thing that we hear. What's going to happen? I hope they're not going to die. C'est la dernière chose que nous entendons. 1 heure plus tard, nous montons dans l'avion. An hour later, we step into the plane. L'avion décolle en direction Marseille. They've missed a word here. En direction de Marseille. Well, what can we say? The problem with these stories is that they do contain French, yeah. So in this sense, you are learning French because you can trace these words back to the French language, and if you can argue that this is a French lesson because you are indeed learning French. I don't personally agree with many of the uses they're making of the present tense. I don't think these are very natural sentence constructions. I don't see the learning benefit in any of these sentences, quite frankly, because the question is, well, once you've read this, what do you walk away with? As a teacher, I don't see it. I don't see what the purpose is of this lesson. I don't know if the ratatouille thing is the name of the whole story, or even where it comes into play. I just don't get it. I think the positioning of the characters isn't very natural. You know, 1 second Daniel's in the garden and the next he's in his room naked, and then Judy's talking to the father and she turns around, uses the back door or something. Or it's not very natural the way they speak. I think there's a massive problem with punctuation here, the use of commas. I think there's a few mistakes with reported speech, which they should have put between quotation marks. I think just the general flow of the text is off. I also think that there's a huge discrepancy between very easy sentences and a lot more challenging notions of French. So you'll see things that are clearly A1 in here mixed up with things that might be B1 or even B2. I just don't think it's a very beneficial story to read to get better at French. I just don't clearly see the benefit of reading this story, other perhaps than the personal satisfaction of knowing what's going on and who's doing what. I don't know. It's a hard question to. Yeah, it does contain French, so technically you are learning French because the words in this story do belong to the French language. So by reading this story, you are learning French. The question is how much, how well, how fast. What are you exactly walking away with? Personally, I don't think it's a good example. I don't think it reads naturally. I don't think it's good enough. I don't think it's at that level. I think you can tell that it was written by native speakers of English. Okay, well, that was my review of the first story of, I've forgotten what it's called, by Olly Richards and his colleague Richard Simcott. Okay, tell me what you thought. Have you gotten good at French with this story? My name's Chris from OuiCommunicate. I welcome your comments. See you in the next video.